what is being spoken here. Um, we start by saying that heaven is a school. It's full of study, the universe. Its teacher, the infinite one. The life that actually we started on earth. Um, heaven is actually the continuation of the same school, but now the difference being that in heaven, um, you are going to learn more about um things of this earth and the universe and everything. Sec First Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 9 says that eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of men the things which God has prepared for them that love him. As much as we can try to explain about heaven and everything that we are going to be doing there, um we really can't. Maybe our words are not enough so that we may understand how heaven will be. Mm, yeah, there is something that they say. Let me just read this part here. This is the thing that we are gonna actually um um notice in heaven. Listen to this. Between the school established in heaven at the beginning and the school of the hereafter, there lies the whole compass of this world's history, the history of human transgression and suffering, of divine sacrifice, and of victory over death and sin. Not all the conditions good, the testing of evil, and none are longer susceptible to its power. To him that overcometh, Christ says, will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. It's just to say that the people or the citizen of heaven, those people will actually they overcame whatever evil thing in that character, whatever like that they're no longer they're no longer susceptible to the power of sin. Those people can't actually do wrong anymore. We can say that wrongdoing is unnatural to them. Yeah, this is one of the conditions of getting to heaven. Okay. These are some verses which actually um confirm this. If you read Isaiah 60 and verse 21, it says, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hand, that I may be glorified. And also Isaiah 52 and verse 6 says, restore to his presence men will again as at the beginning be taught of God. My people shall know my name. They shall know in that day that I am he that does speak. Behold, it is I. One can says that the people shall know my name. My name simply, the name of God simply means his character. And this is actually one of the things that we'll be doing in heaven. We'll be learning more and more about God. Um, the tabernacle of God is with men. He will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. A couple of verses are given here. Okay, I don't know how why I didn't underline this. Um, but yeah, let me read this. And also we are given Revelation chapter 7 from 14 to 17, which says, "These are they which came out of the great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are, therefore are they before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and they shall lead them into living fountains of waters." These people, talking about the people who's going to make it says that they will that those who actually wash their robes. Robes is also another okay, let me put this. It symbolizes character. So these people actually they wash their characters in the blood of the lamb. Um okay, let's go here. Um Talking about heaven, it says, "There the student of science may read the records of creation and discern no reminders of the law of evil. He may listen to the music of nature's voices and detect no note of wailing or undertone of sorrow. In all created things he may trace one handwriting. In the vast universe, behold God's name write large, and not in earth or sea or sky for itself still remaining." This simply says that um we nothing's gonna sadden us in heaven. You see, nothing that will be there will make us sad or will bring sorrow or something like that. Um, Only God, like the name of God, will be written um in everything and on anything. There, the Eden life will be lived, the life in garden and fields. They shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit, they shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of the tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hand. This is Isaiah 65 from verse 21 to 22. We'll build building houses that we are going to habitate. Like it's not that it's not, and also we are also going um to plant vineyard that we are going to eat. Um, it's not a matter of being selfish or something like that. Uh, this will be our work actually. We'll be planting, we'll be building. Yeah, this will be the work that all of us as individuals will be doing. So you won't have time to envy the other person, you see, because you'll also have a work to do. There shall be nothing to hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, says the Lord. Isaiah 65 and verse 26 to 25, sorry. Nothing that can hurt or destroy will be found in heaven. Um, I would like to comment more about this, but I'll not just proceed. Um, Here, from the vantage ground of God's words, the student is afforded a view of the vast fields of history and may gained some knowledge of the principles that govern the course of human events, but his vision is still clouded and his knowledge incomplete. Not until he stands in the light of eternity will he see all things clearly. Just to say that there are things that we cannot understand now, but as we'll be in heaven, we'll be understanding or we'll see more clearly the things that we did not comprehend uh, when we are still on earth. Not until the providences of God are seen in the light of eternity shall we understand what we ought to do. Care and interposition of his angels, celestial beings have taken an active part in the affairs of men. They have appeared in garments that shone as the lightning. They have come as men in the garb of wayfarers. They have accepted the hospitalities of human homes. They have acted as guides to benighted travelers. When you meet an angel, you just know. It's not that you won't be sure that he's an angel. I personally can testify that I've met an angel as I was traveling to Namibia. Um, okay, when I was traveling back, the same year I came here, the same year I went back to Congo, and now when I came back here, I was quite alone. Like I was alone, like doing all the proceedings and everything. I remember I met someone who I don't know. He didn't have. I don't know. Up to now, I just knew that this person was sent by God. This person actually was an angel. The way he helped me and without even knowing me and stuff, I was really astonished after I met him. But I just knew that he was an angel. Yeah, I can testify that even if I'm wrong, but I'm really sure of that. Um, though the rulers of this world know it not, yet often in their councils angels have been spokesmen. Human eyes have looked upon them. Human ears have listened to their appeals. In the council hall and the court of justice, heavenly messages have pleaded the cause of the persecuted and oppressed. They have defeated purposes and arrested evil that would have brought wrong and suffering to God's children. We really have to know that many things that could have happened to us, but because of the intervention of holy beings, um, those things did not happen to us. This is one of the reasons why we should always be grateful for the gift of life, for anything that we might have, anything, even a little thing, should always be grateful to God because we really do not know um what uh how angels protected us from many from danger or anything that could harm us. Um, the angel who was his guardian from his earliest moment, the angels who watched his steps and covered his head in the days of peril, the angel who was with him in the valley of the shadow of death, who marked his resting place, who was the first to greet him in the resurrection morning. What will it be to hold converse with him and to learn the history of divine interposition in the individual life of heavenly cooperation in every work for humanity? What a privilege or what a occasion it will be to meet your guardian angel. Um, the outworking of every right principle and noble deed will be seen. Ha! I really like this part. I really like. Let us listen carefully what it says. The outworking of every right principle and noble deed will be seen. Something something of this we see here, but how little of the result of the world's noblest work is in this life manifest to the doer. How many toil unselfishly and unhurriedly for those who pass beyond their reach and knowledge. Parents and teachers lie down in their last sleep, their life work seeming to have been wrought in vain. They know not that their faithfulness has unsalt springs of blessing that can never cease to flow. Only by faith they see the children they have trained become a benediction and an inspiration to their fellow men, and the influence repeats itself a thousandfold. Many workers sent out into the world messages of strength and hope and courage, words that carry blessing to hearts in every land. But of the result he toiling in loneliness and obscurity knows little. So gifts are bestowed, burdens are borne, labor is done. Men sow the seed from which above their grave others reap blessed harvest. They plant trees that others may eat the fruit. They are constant here to know that they have set in motion agencies for good. In the hereafter, the action and reaction of all this will be seen. It's just to say that there are things that we might be doing on earth to encourage fellow fellow men or fellow um okay our friend or families or anyone that we encounter on this earth. So there are things that we do. Let me give an example of um about this Manika YouTube channel. It might you might um you might not notice the impact that is having actually the impact that in his eyes that he might notice may be very little, but in heaven we will then see that there will even be people who will be saved by just watching one of his videos. It's just to say that little is much when God is in it. When we do something for God, let us ever be mindful that there will always be a great harvest, and we only understand that when we make it in heaven. We are not doing things in vain. When I start with a YouTube channel, I'm not actually doing it in vain. It's not a waste of time or something like that. It will really impact lives, and only in heaven will then see the results of our good. Even if in our eyes it can seem very little. To trust of true principles, this will be one of the studies and rewards of the heavenly school. Mm, Talking about heaven, it also says that they every power will be developed, every capability increased, the grandest enterprises, enterprises will be carried forward. The loftiest aspirations will be reached, the highest ambitions realized, and still there will arise new heights to surmount, new wonders to admire, new truths to comprehend, fresh objects to call forth the powers of body and mind and soul. As it's just to say that in heaven, many of our faculties will be increased. Let me give an example. As for me, I cannot sing, but in heaven, I will be a effect that we might be having will actually be increased in heaven. And there's so many things that are um there are so many things that I don't know we cannot comprehend now because it says that and still there will arise new heights to surmount, new wonders to admire. There will be things that um there will be things in heaven that we'll really try to know like in heaven, new things actually we've never that we've never noticed or that we've never met on earth, but new things that we'll try to understand and to comprehend. Um again, the life on earth is the beginning of the life in heaven. Education on earth is an initiation into the principles of heaven. The life work here is a training for the life work there. What will now are in character and holy service is the sure foreshadowing of what we shall be. Listen to Matthew chapter 20 and verse 28. The Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. Christ's work below is his work above, and our reward for working with him in this world will be the greater power and what the privilege of working with him in the world to come. It's just to say that if we don't want to work with Christ now, we won't find pleasure to work with him in heaven. We have to be friends with Christ now here on earth. We have to do his work now. We have to enjoy doing his work and doing his comment now on earth. Because this stuff is just foreshadowing. It's just foreshadowing what will be will be doing in heaven. Ye are my witnesses, said the Lord, that I am God. This is also this also we shall be in eternity. This is sorry, um, yeah, ye are my witnesses, said the Lord, that I am God. This is Isaiah 43 and verse 12. This also we shall be in eternity. For what For what was the great controversy permitted to continue throughout the ages? These are kind of one of the questions that sometimes we ask ourselves. Like, how is it that the controversy was permitted in heaven? Why was it that Satan's existence was not cut short at the outset of his rebellion? It was that the universe might be convinced of God's justice in his dealing with evil, that sin might receive eternal condemnation. This is the reason why um, Satan was not cut short when he rebelled. There's a verse which proves that, and I really love this verse. But before we read it, let me just read what is just down here. The redeemed wholly of all created beings have in their own experience known the actual conflict with sin. Huh. This is the privilege, or yeah, let me just call it privilege. Uh okay, yeah, privilege. Yeah, this is the privilege that the redeemed will be having over any other created being. It says the redeemed only of all created being have in their own experience known the actual conflict with sin. Only the redeemed dealt actually with sin. They have wrought with Christ, and as even the angels could not do, have entered into the fellowship of his sufferings. No angel entered in the fellowship of the suffering of Christ. Will they have no testimony as to the science of redemption? will be explaining them the sense of redemption. Actually, we are the one, nothing that will be of worth to unfallen beings. Listen to this. Even now, I really like this verse. Even now, unto the principalities and the powers in the heavenly places is made known through the church. Ne? Those principalities and powers in the heavenly places, simply talking about the angels who are in heaven. So it says that made known through the church. The church is us, the manifold wisdom of God. So there is something that the angels actually are learning about Christ or about God through the church, through us. And He has raised us up together, and He has raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places, that in the ages to come He might show the exceeding riches of His grace in His kindness toward us through Jesus. That there is the attribute of God that angels are going to understand only through us. Let me give you an example. Let's say someone have been sinning a lot or participating in a certain sin, and angels actually are looking at that kind of person, and at a certain moment in their life they change their habit of doing things. Now they become righteous. Now they start to do the will of God, and there's a change in their character. This is the mystery that is being spoken of in Colossians, uh, which is Christ in us, the hope of glory. Now they start noticing a change in their characters and everything. Then they really see now the goodness of God toward men. They now to start to understand. I'm talking about angels. They now to start to understand the plan of salvation. They now to start understand that God is really good, and they now start to understand how good God is. So these are things that angels are learning from us. In his temple, thus everyone speaks of his glory, and the song which the ransomed ones will sing, the song of their experience will declare the glory of God. Great and marvelous are thy works, O Lord, the Almighty, righteous and true are thy ways, thou King of ages, who shall not fear or Lord, and glorify thy name, for thou only art holy. Let me fast forward. Let's we finish at 6. Um, okay, let me first read this part, and then yeah, this is what I was talking about. In the future state, untrammeled, untrammeled by the limitations of sinful humanity. It is in service that our greatest joy of our highest education will be found, witnessing and ever as we witness learning anew the riches of the glory of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. It does not yet appear what we shall be, but we will know what when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as it is. This is for John chapter 3 and verse 2. Let me just fast forward quickly. Let me see. Okay, I've spoken that already. Yeah, in heaven, the more men learn of God, the greater will be the admiration of His character. Um, mm, okay. Um, Something I'm looking for. Okay, yeah, listen to this. I'll just read this and then we'll close because the same idea being repeated here. Let me just read this. It says, in this life, we can only begin to understand the wonderful theme of redemption. Without finite comprehension, we may consider most earnestly the shame and the glory, um, the life and the death, the justice and the mercy that meet in the cross. Yet, with the utmost stretch of our mental powers, we fail to grasp its full significance. There's one thing about redemption that up to now we do not understand, that we do not comprehend. But when or as we'll be in heaven, then we'll have a clear understanding of the sacrifice of Christ. Even if we could open our Bibles and read through and through, we will never have a complete understanding of the redemption that Christ has brought on or upon our humanity. Only, only, only when we get in heaven will then comprehend the sense of redemption. Will not comprehend uh, how Christ, how God, out of love, sent His only begotten Son, so that we may have eternal life. We might not comprehend it now, so let us strive to enter. I'm saying strive because this is what the Bible says in Matthew, that we have to strive, not to seek to enter. We all seek to go to heaven, but we are not striving. This is the big difference. Let us strive to enter heaven and understand the reason why God, out of love, sent His only begotten Son. Why um, God was supposed to die for our sins. All of this. Let us have the proper answer to our questions when we get there. But as we are still on earth, let us keep on believing in whatever providence that God has bestowed upon us. That through angels, through anything that actually is doing in our lives, that we may uh, participate in that great work of salvation or redemption of men or our fellow men. So let us let us work with Christ now, and so that the uh in heaven we'll then see the any result of our good actions. We might it might seem that it's very little here, but in heaven we really see that we really, by the grace of God, we really uh change someone's life and turn him to Christ. Now we can switch to the other session of the program, which is prayer. If there is any prayer request, we can just send them into the chat. So we will be praying for them. Any prayer request? Or we should leave and come back? Okay, definitely.